How's it going, lads? Tornado siren just went off. It's still going. The wind is hammering at my door right now. But I'm not worried about all of that. I'm not worried about anything right now. What I'd like to talk about is a few interesting Xbox titles. Let's get started, shall we? First game we got here is Breakdown. Breakdown. I'd say it's an interesting mashup of an FPS and a brawler, really. What it's about is play as some soldier with amnesia. You wake up in some medical facility in Japan, and the US military is basically cleaning house for some reason. And all of a sudden, there are these aliens called the Talon Warriors that are just decimating everything in their path. That's all I'm gonna say about the story for now. Well, not for now, just that's all there is. The gameplay, like I said, I describe it as an FPS and a brawler mixed together. First off, it gets a start with guns. Got a pistol and MP5. They're alright to use, it's just the aiming system's a bit weird at times. Like you might end up missing a shot or two. And the soldiers, they're not really bullet spongy at all. I'll give them that. No, they're not bad to fight. It's one though. You gotta use your fists to take them down. When you're up against one early game, you're all good, but if there's two or more, you're kind of screwed. You're outnumbered. I think there was some. I think there was a crowd control move in there, but you get it later on in the game, and it just puts you up against multiple Tawan at once a few times, and yeah. And getting hit by them, it stun locks you, which is very bad. What else? And despite me being a bit vague about the story, I kind of like the story a bit. Like how it messes around with the time travel, all that. It's honestly not a bad game. Game's hard as all hell though. I honestly just recommend if you just play it on easy. I tried to play through it normally, but yeah, last time didn't go so well. Let's get on to the next game, shall we? Next game we got here is Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. Crimson Skies has, I gotta say, it's one of the most unique universes I've ever seen out there. It's one where, after the Great War, the Great Depression got too bad to the point everything just started to flood a bit. And America itself got divided, and the states are basically just like different countries, I suppose. And reminds me of that one other space game, Freelancer, where almost every star system it's based off a country, really, like the U.S. It's named Liberty. Britain is called Britonia. Germany's Rhineland. Japan's in it too, right? That's a different game. Alright, back to Crimson Skies. The story about Crimson Skies is it starts you off with you getting your Zeppelin stolen and you gotta get it back. And after that, someone on your team dies and you have to figure out who killed them and why. And the guy's been using his experiments to wreak havoc against the world. Oh, and I forgot to mention another thing about the universe is everything, the only way you can travel is by air. What I mean by that is you can use airplanes. Wait, air and sea. My bad. You can use airplanes, boats, zeppelins, choppers. And it's in the 1930s, so it has that vibe going for it too. Overall, I feel like it's such a nice game so far. The gameplay, you're mostly in the air, just in dogfights. It ain't exactly trying to be realistic like that. I mean, yeah, no wonder. I mean, you fight off some type of spider tank later on in the game. Well, not exactly a spider tank. Let's just get back to it. The dogfights, they're pretty fun to demo around with. And the boss fights are nice too, and kind of like the factions in it a bit. There's the Raging Cajuns, Hollywood Knights. I forgot the one gang that's set in Chicago. Gets to explore Chicago, by the way. Never mind. I just remembered one bad thing here. It's this one where you have to navigate through some collapsing Aztec temple, and I did not like that part. That's something I've the first time I played it was just awful, man. Never mind. Let's just move on to the next game. I was gonna say maybe a few of the side missions felt a bit kind of tacked on, but kind of want to retract that statement because you're kind of forced to do the missions anyway and move on. Alright, on to the next game, as promised. This one's the last. Got Eat Lead. I have not played Eat Lead in years, so I'm just doing this by memory right now. I'm thinking about playing it later on though. Eat Lead. It's basically a third-person comedy shooter. Makes fun of itself. Whole thing just breaks the fourth wall. All that. The story is about this one video game character called Matt Hazard. He was pretty huge back then. Then later on, things just went downhill for him after his game company kind of just started to make horrible decisions. And Matt Hazard, he's trying to do this one. He's trying to get himself back into the spotlight by doing this one game, and something weird happens where he's just taken out of the game and he has to save a bunch of other video game characters before they get assassinated or something like that. That's all I can remember right now. The gameplay is kind of standard for what it is. Just take cover, point and shoot. That's all I can think of on that one. I remember the guns being a bit weird to use though. Remember goddamn lethal super soakers. That's the only weird thing I can remember about the game. Aside from the other normal guns being there, like an AK and SMG, all that. All I know is that there's lethal super soakers in there. That's all I know. Well, with all of that, that's all I have. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. You do you. If you want to leave a comment praising me, criticizing me, or just telling me to go down a bottle of rat poison or something, I go right on the head. Well, see you on the next one.